This is the Strait of Malacca. If the small space of 40 miles is blocked for some reason, the world's second and third largest economies will be destroyed. This narrow place is the most important strategic point of the 21st century. This point between Malaysia, Singapore, and northern Sumatra connects the Indian and Pacific Oceans. This place is the busiest place in our world's oceans. More than 300 ships pass through here every day, and 40% of the world's trade passes through this area, including about 15 million barrels of oil and about 40% of the world's LNG. About 70% of China's and 40% of Japan's sea trade passes through this route. And from here, their ships go to Middle East, Asia, Europe, and Africa. China is the largest oil importing country in the world. China imports 75% of its oil from abroad, of which 60% is purchased from countries in the Persian Gulf. There is also another crossing point of the world called Strait of Hormuz. This is also a very important and dangerous point. All the oil imported from these Arab countries reaches the Strait of Malacca from the Indian Ocean and passes through the South China Sea and reaches China. This long and difficult road is actually a headache for China. If the United States or India close this checkpoint in the event of a war, the world's emerging superpower chain will be financially and socially destroyed. China's problem does not end here. It is like South China. It is the most important and dangerous place in the seas of the world, from where World War III can start. But to understand why I am saying this, first of all, understand the geographical reality of China. China has the 14,000 kilometers long world's 10th longest coastline that touches the Pacific Ocean. More than half of China's population lives in these areas. All of China's ships reach the rest of the world through these routes. But there are small islands along this route, such as Japan, Taiwan, Ryukyu, Philippines, and Brunei, etc., due to which such checkpoints have been made. China's misfortune is that these islands are supporters of the United States or its friends, all of China. Ships pass through the same checkpoints to the rest of the world that are controlled by its arch-enemy, the United States. And on the other hand, these four countries claim different parts of the South China Sea. Vietnam claims such a part, Philippines claims such a part, Malaysia claims such a part, and Brunei claims such a part. But all these countries are united against the one country which considers the South China Sea as its own, that is China. Because of this claim of China, not only this country but also America strongly opposes it. Accepting China's control over this sea means that all the ships of the world will be able to come at China's will. So obviously America will not allow it in any case. The United States is not alone in preventing China, but it has made a security alliance with India, Japan, and Australia, which is called the Quad. According to Quad, these four countries will defend each other in case of any attack by China. This means that if China attacks Taiwan or Mojo attacks the U.S. Navy in the Strait of Malacca, the navies of all countries will attack China together. So there is a very big chance that if the World War starts, on the other hand, China is not sitting quietly, it is also strengthening its navy. China is trying to build its naval bases on all these islands so that its trade routes can be restored in case of any war. That is why China is investing a lot of money in its navy. And on the other hand, China is also working on the Belt and Road Initiative to reduce its dependence on the Malaccastrait. For thousands of years, trade between China and the whole of Europe was through the same mountains and routes called the Silk Road. China's oldest friend, Pakistan, is the biggest partner of this Belt and Road Initiative. CPEC and Gwadar port development are all part of this plan, so that instead of passing through the Strait of Malacca, China will stop and get the short route.